Hey y'all, FatMan Outdoors. Wanted to get on here this morning and do a little short live with y'all, if anybody's on. Want to talk about the bump stock ban. I don't know if any of you seen it, but the Supreme Court reversed the Trump administration's ban on bump stocks. Here's what it means. They have basically come out to say that the ATF overstepped their bounds when banning the bump stock, that they didn't get permission from the correct people, Congress. So what that means is that Congress may very well take this to vote on the floor and vote on it and ban it anyway. I don't think that's going to happen, but here's what I think might be some reverb that comes from it. And if you guys want to weigh in on this, go right ahead. What I think is probably going to happen from this, there's going to be some people kind of up the ladder that are going to be upset that this got overturned, because it's going to kind of be the wind of change blowing back in the direction of the 2A people, and that's great. I'm glad to see that. But what I'm afraid is going to happen is now they're going to target something that I'm shocked hasn't already been targeted much more than it has, and that is binary triggers. I really think that they're going to go after binary triggers. I didn't understand why they went after bump stocks instead of binary triggers when it happened, because honestly, that was something that a lot of people in the gun industry and a lot of people that are gun people, they really thought that was something that was going to get hammered in this whole deal. Nothing happened. Thankfully, there was nothing really that ever come of it. There was a few hardcore discussions, but nothing ever come to fruition with the ATF saying, okay, we're going to stop it from happening. I think, however, with the ATF, that it was kind of, we're going to test the waters with the bump stock, because the bump stock was more of a novelty thing that not a lot of people really dealt with them because they weren't effective greatly. But the binary trigger, I think, is what their end game was, and probably still is. And they were just going to try to see if they could do anything with the bump stock without permission from Congress. And for a while, this stood before the right people got up and said something, and finally got an opportunity to get it before SCOTUS and get that overturned. And I'm so happy that it was overturned. I got rid of my bump stock before the ban went in, just because I didn't want to have to deal with that. But the problem with it was, I think maybe a great big part of why this was overturned was it was about to cause an issue. There was several million of these sold, estimated. They think somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2.4 million of those things were sold. If I remember correctly, y'all might correct me on that if I'm wrong. Hey, Ray. No one turned them in when the ban happened. Nobody turned them in, and that's some of the craziness that happens whenever you try to institute a ban on something that's been legal for years and years and years and years and years, and nobody wanted to give them up. So after the ban was implemented and nobody turned them in, then people were going to start saying that there was going to have to be things done because a law was passed, and they know that there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that are breaking this, what would have been a federal law, and the government's not trying to implement it. And the argument wasn't going to float much longer that there was no way for us to find out who did this, who bought one of these and didn't turn it in. Hey guys, hey Amber and Danny, hello. But I don't understand why they didn't go after it harder. But now that it's overturned, I think what's going to happen, the next step is they're going to try to figure out some way to begin trying to ban the binary triggers. And to be honest, guys, if they go after those and get those off the market, I don't think they'll ever be able to get them back on. Hey, Gregory. So if y'all got any kind of comments or anything on this bump stock ban being overturned by the Supreme Court, what you're thinking on it? I don't know what's going to come of it. There may be. Uh, it's not a problem, Nick, that they've overturned it. But what I'm wondering is it going to become a thing to where uh, they've seen now that they can ban bits and pieces, they can ban parts, and you know if they could have made that stick and the Supreme Court wouldn't have overturned it, I have a feeling there would have been a whole lot of stuff this coming week would have went on to ban hammer. You know, they would have figured out some way to ban bolt carriers, maybe, or anything. You know, that would have made owning an AR-15 uh, useless because you would not have been able to have um, things like that that were just, you know, it's a touchy thing. You know, there's so many things that the government tries to do with bodies like the ATF. They kind of there's a gray area the way the laws were written for them, and they can change the wording of something and take something away just by changing the wording of it. Um, Yeah, I agree. The 3D print, Dylan, I agree with you totally with the 3D printing. There'll be ways to get around it, but the problem with that is, still, if you make your own at home, and if this would have stuck, it was going to still cause you to be a felon. I do believe, because it's just nuts the way things are right now. That they could just change the wording of something, and once they change the wording of that, then it could force people that were 100% law-abiding citizens to be technically listed as a felon. And like I said, I believe that the biggest issue with this gun stock ban, with this bump stock ban, that if it had not been overturned, somebody was going to stand up and say, okay, now we know estimated how many millions of these things were sold, and everybody that did not turn one back in, everybody that still owns one, is technically a felon. So why are we not going after those people? And they were going to start pressuring the ATF and pressuring the FBI to start looking into this, that the federal laws were being broken, and nobody was saying anything. And Happy Pets Tales. Hey, um, I just don't understand why that somebody would give the ATF the power that they give them the way they give them. Now, the great thing about this whole deal is, I think now with this bump stock ban being overturned, that somebody in Congress now is going to go back and look and say, okay, now we need to figure out a way to put a permanent rein on the ATF, that they can go and investigate things, and if they come up with some kind of thing that they see as an issue that we need to change the law or change a policy to adjust to it, then they have to go to Congress and get permission to do that. They just can't do it on their own, because the way the ATF is set up right now, all they can basically just change the wording of a law that's in place, and once they change that wording, then that could turn law-abiding citizens that are gun owners, could turn you into a felon overnight, just like the bump stock ban did. You know, I mean, that it's just crazy that the ATF held that kind of power. But there's two things that I think is going to come out of this. I think that now they're going to go back and revisit how the ATF's ability to do stuff is allowed, and that they're going to also force the ATF to go to Congress if they want to try to get something changed, just the same as the 2A people. If we want to try to get a law changed, like I say, they're trying to get national reciprocity for concealed carry, that we'd have to go through Congress. We can't just find a body of the government and get them to change the writing of a law and that be it. Hey, Teddy. So, what do you guys? I'd like to hear back from some of you all. What do you think is going to come of this? Do you think anything's going to come of it? Is it just going to quietly go away, or do you think there's actually going to be some legislation changes in the federal government due to this being overturned? Because it's kind of a one-off. It's kind of a one-time thing that's happened when this ban happened. That it was the president of the United States looking at ATF and saying, "Y'all do what you want to do. You know, don't worry about asking for someone's permission. How do we change it to where, and who do we contact to be able to find out what we need to do to try to get the government to change this? Because now's the time. Right now we have, I think, after this being overturned by the SCOTUS, that gun owners now are in a better place than we have been in a long, long time. That we actually have an opportunity to maybe get some changes made. You know, I mean, maybe now someone can come up with a legitimate law written that isn't a bunch of silliness for suppressors. So maybe we can get suppressors passed where you don't have to have a tax stamp to have something to keep you from busting your eardrums when you shoot a rifle. Stuff like that is stupid, and it's just because I just don't understand why that if the government, there's so many things that they could go after to get stopped that a lot of gun people probably wouldn't say a whole lot about. And instead of doing that, they want to nitpick on little stupid stuff. But when there's something that legitimately would help to get everybody that is a gun owner, and they won't touch it. They don't want to do it. You know, like I said, with the suppressors, that's something we need done as quickly as possible. I understand that, Teddy. Ammo still is an issue unless you want to buy just stuff that I don't really feel is a lot of it's not reliable. I reload most of the stuff that I shoot anyway, so especially if it's stuff that I'm going to keep. I keep a few magazines with blue tape on them for my AR that are ammo that I've reloaded all of it. I know 100% what's in it and what it'll do, and that way I trust it to go bang. You know, it's getting any more now where you can go buy a lot of the ammo that was good stuff before, and it's not worth a dime. It's. Do you guys think that they should try to do something with the suppressors faster than what they're doing? I mean, it's been attempted a couple of times. What's your thoughts on that? Do you really think that they just need to leave it alone and just leave it as a NTF item, or do you think? I think it's NTF. Is that what it is? My brain's not working too good right now. This Alzheimer's stuff is kind of weird when it's just starting. But but with having to pay a tax stamp on this stuff, I'm from Albany, Kentucky. I'm right between Lake Cumberland and Dale Hollow Lake. You guys really like making fun of me, man. That's all right though. If you're picking on me, you're leaving some other fat dude alone, and I'm happy to be the one to take the punches. We won't even go, I won't even discuss the teeth thing. You go back and look up the video in my videos about the teeth thing, and you'll figure it out for yourself. Maybe it'll make you feel bad, and you'll come back and say I'm sorry. Yeah, Teddy, I love reloading. Reloading is something that I do. I've got a 12 by 32 building that I go into that nobody else is in there when I reload, and I turn off the radio and I just sit in there. Everything's quiet. I concentrate, and it's really how I relieve a lot of stress. And yeah, the mad scientist thing. A lot of people say that when they get around when I've been reloading, because I come up with some wild stuff. I have quite a few firearms that are odd calipers, like a 5.77 450 Martini Henry, and I do a lot of stuff with it. Right now I've got a load worked up that's 600 grain um, lead projectile, and done a little bit with the filler, and it's a black powder cartridge, and I made the cartridges out of 28 gauge shotgun holes, brass shotgun holes, necked them down. I got it running about 1,800 feet a second, shooting a 600 round or 600 grain ball rather. And my intent is to try to put a deer on the ground with that thing this fall. AC. Am I married to my sister or your cousin? Well, I'm not really made my mind yet. I was still waiting on your mom's answer. I think it's funny on here where so many people want to get on here and make fun of people. That's just funny. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. The bump stock ban being turned over. Um, I've looked into uh, what now if once this bump stock ban's been turned over, if it's something that they're going to immediately come back on the market. I've talked to a couple of people, 3 or 4 people that I know that are gun store owners, and that they have actually already talked to their distributor, and their distributor said that they could possibly have bump stocks back in their lineup to sell within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to say probably that the ATF probably went to the companies that made these and made them break down all their machinery and everything, and it's probably in storage, a lot of it, because they had to stop production and the ability to do production. So it'll probably take a couple 3 weeks to get everything back together and running again, but I'd say it won't take long. Well, that's interesting. I farm aquatic plants and sell it online. A lot of people like aquarium. I understand. That's pretty neat, man. That is a unique thing to do. Teddy? Do you like the slide fire? I shot an AR bin 4 or 5 years ago with that. I think it's the slide fire brand that was on it, and I I don't like either one of them. My personal opinion, the binary trigger is the way to go. I never understood the usefulness of the bump stock kind of deal. The binary trigger is so much more controllable, and in a tactical situation, it's way better, way better. That thing is incredibly good for double taps. Binary triggers are. To be, like I said earlier, to be 100% honest, I'm so amazed that they didn't go after the binary trigger instead of going after bump stocks. More than likely, the reason they didn't do that first is because the amount of money that people put into binary triggers, because they are quite a bit more expensive than bump stocks. Just like I said, I think the ATF was just feeling the waters and see what they could do, and they was going to see if the first time it come up to the SCOTUS to overturn it, if it had not overturned, I believe you would have seen an immediate attack, and you may yet, that you would have seen an immediate attack on binary trigger type setups. Oh yeah, I've shot several flintlocks. I actually owned one and just recently um, sold it. It was a 54 caliber. Uh, those things are a blast. It's the skill level. You would think, okay, it's a flintlock, and people are like, well, yeah, anyone can shoot that. I'm gonna tell you something. Accurately to shoot one of them, the skill level to be able to deal with that weapon and deal with the delay to shoot it accurately is hard to do. I'm only about 10, 15 miles from, I'm sure you probably have heard of Sergeant Alvin York. Well, they have a big shoot down there in March every year, big national black powder shoot, and they have all sorts of divisions. And I actually went down there 2 years ago, and I'll probably go next year and do a video while I'm there. But I went down there 2 years ago and shot a couple of flintlocks, and I even uh, shot some matchlock, and those were very strange critters too, with the rope that stayed on there burning all the time. That was pretty interesting. But yeah, I've shot several, or I shot one of the flintlocks, and that was very interesting. Going to be doing a video pretty soon at a big range down in Tennessee, in Clark Range, Tennessee. They've got a big range down there. They've just recently got all their accreditations to have national pistol shoots and rifle shoots there. They got indoor and outdoor. They're one of our sponsors. You'll see their logo on all of our videos when they come up. It comes out automatically. But I'll be doing a video down there very soon, and all the contact information for them will be on it. It's pretty cool place. I talked to the gentleman back in the winter, and they were just getting a lot of stuff set up, and he asked me to wait till later in the spring or in summer, and I'm probably going to go down there in the next couple of weeks and do a video, and it's a pretty cool place. You can rent guns there and shoot guns that you would never normally get the ability to shoot, some huge caliber guns, some fully automatic stuff, different stuff like that. And like I say, they just got done completing all their safety tests and everything to be able to host national scored matches there. The stuff like you see with the big sponsored shooters in. So that's going to be pretty interesting. The guy that owns the place, he's an awesome dude. He's a real nice guy, and hopefully we'll be able to get a video of that made and show you guys a lot of the features and the different things that you can do there. And it might be a place, if you're ever down in this area and you want to visit some place pretty neat and take the family, that it'll be a real nice place to be. Also going to be, I meant to mention earlier, we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways. We just started. The first one actually is active now. If you look in my videos, you'll see a video that is entitled Let the Giveaways Begin, and we're going to be doing a giveaway every Saturday. An item will go up on Wednesdays to be given away, and on Saturday there will be that item will be given away. We're going to have all kinds of stuff. We got fishing stuff, we got hunting stuff, we got clothing apparel that people have donated to the channel. I've got a lot of gun stuff. I've got, I don't know how many 30-round Magpul magazines that we're going to give away that's been donated to the channel. There's just a bunch of stuff that's been donated. Fishing reels, fishing line, all kinds of stuff that people have different sponsors have donated to the channel, and we're going to give all that stuff away. We're going to give something away every week. I love FNs. FNs are really neat little weapons. I want to get a Scorpion is what I want. I've shot one, like I say, I shot one at a range up in near Louisville, and those things are bad news. A buddy of mine that plays Call of Duty a lot, he calls that the wimp gun because he can shoot it so fast. But yeah, that's what I want is a Scorpion. And what I keep close to me all the time is a CZ P07 that I have put a trigger spring kit in, and lightened the trigger up and made it a lot smoother. I really like that gun. I carry it a lot everywhere I go. It's the only reason it's not on me right now is just because I'm out on the front porch. It's just a few feet away if I needed to get to it. But that's what I keep with me all the time. And then I have a few other guns strategically placed throughout the house in the event that I need something. And then I have, of course, everybody that's much of a gun guy has a truck gun. I have a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 Gen 3 that stays with my go bag, and 3 of the 33 round Glock mags with it, and the factory, I think it's a 17 round mag comes with it. All that stays right with my go bag. You can see I have a video that you could watch that shows the go bag and everything I've got in it. It shows the rifle that stays with it. Stuff like that's important. And again, stuff like that, I think that if this gun stock ban, if this bump stock ban had not got turned over, I think we were just a few short weeks away from the government starting to attack stuff like magazines and guns that were had collapsible stocks, or the gun themselves that were collapsible, like the Kel-Tec. this is going to be a big turnaround, I think, in the 2A world. I think a lot of people are going to see a lot of stuff that comes out of this that is really going to make a big change in the 2A world. A lot of stuff is going to be left alone that was being attacked or being prepared to being attacked. And like I said, I think the thing that had the big bullseye on it was binary triggers or drop-in trigger systems. I think that was the thing that had the big bullseye on it, that somebody was about to go after it big time had this not been overturned. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to say thank you to the Supreme Court of the United States. Thank you very much for overturning that foolish decision. Whether a bump stock was worth a hill of beans or not, it doesn't matter. But if somebody owned it, they bought it legitimately, it should be theirs, and they should be able to do what they want to with it. And the government should not be able to say you cannot own that. And again, I'm so glad that they turned it over, and thank y'all. Thank you for subscribing, Teddy. I really appreciate it. There's some cool stuff on the channel. A lot of stuff, a lot of reloading stuff. Oh, something else we're going to be doing real soon. I make my own bullets and my own fishing weights, and I'm going to be doing some of that, making some more videos of that. I've done some back in when we first started the channel. I've done some, but I'm going to do a lot more. Break down prepping the lead and turning it into ingots and how to store it and everything. I'm going to do several of those videos over the course of the summer because the heat's really about to come in. I'm about to do a crappie video of trolling for crappie, and then I'll be doing some walleye and smallmouth trolling later on through the summer. When the summer months start in this area, you can fish, but you just about have to put your canopy up and stay under it and do the best you can do. You can do pretty good on smallmouth here, jigging and topwater fishing early in the morning. But most folks around here, they go fishing at night. But I like to crappie fish, and I've noticed a lot of folks around here starting doing something that I've never done before, and that was trolling with crankbaits for crappie. So now I'm going to get in. I'm going to give that a try. I've got all the gear that I needed and all the baits that I needed, and we're going to get started trying that. I was actually watching some guys do it the other day when I was making a video bass fishing. And it was pretty interesting because right in the area where I like to go, they were catching fish after fish, crappie fishing with these crankbaits, just trolling, slow trolling these crankbaits. So that's going to be something else we're going to do. This is the first live that I've done on the channel, and I appreciate y'all being here. And believe it or not, I appreciate all y'all's comments, even the ones that weren't very nice. That's all right, man. Everybody's got their own opinion. You can do what you want and say what you want. Ain't nobody going to stop you on this channel because it's my channel. And if somebody tries to stop you, I'll boot them. That's fine. But a lot of people make fun of my teeth. Look, and I'll save you from going and watching the video unless you just want to go watch it. It has nothing to do with never brushing my teeth or something like that. I got hurt at work a long time ago, about 22, 23 years ago. Suffered a pretty bad injury, and I went on pain medicine. I took 4 10-milligram Percocet a day for about 21 or 22 years. And over the course of those years of taking that medicine, my teeth just fell out. Of course, my doctor told me that if you stay on these, we have to stay on them prolonged, you're going to start having some issues like that. And I mean, they would just fall out. You know, I mean, there was nothing I could do. They just crumble to pieces and fall away. Went through an enormous amount of pain with that when dealing with all that, and I've still just, you know, you got to do what you got to do. It's something that happens. Wasn't my fault. You know, nothing I could do to stop it. And it's a bone to pick for a lot of people, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then do it. I ain't got an issue with that. I wouldn't really advise you to like stand in front of me and do that, but if you want to get on here and be an internet tough guy, that's fine by me. You can go right ahead. I ain't got a problem with that. I'm thick-skinned. I come from Kentucky. You're not gonna get a rise out of me just by typing. You got to do a little bit more than that. But guys, I hope this was an interesting topic for a live for you all. And just wanted to say that I appreciate all of y'all coming on and all the questions that you did. And I'll see you guys in the next video or the next live. Y'all have a good day. I'm out.